wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. Autobots, Decepticons!
The NetJet is a Windows PC-based game system introduced by Hasbro under the Tiger Electronics brand in 2007. The NetJet controller is plugged into the USB port in a computer and automatically started up and downloaded games via a required internet connection. A dozen featured games can be played on a trial basis or unlocked via plug-in game keys, which are essentially jumper blocks. The NetJet makes itself a plug-and-play by containing a small bit of firmware in the controller. NetJet support officially ended December 31st, 2009. Now, I'm sure some of you watching this are wondering how I even got this, arguably our lost game, especially since the servers have been discontinued almost 10 years now. Well, long story short, someone managed to archive the website that hosted the actual game, thus allowing users to download it and play it offline. Understand, you will still need a NetJet controller as well as a game key for the said game in order for it to work, and from what I researched, only 2 games have successfully been archived, and surprisingly, this happens to be one of them. For better or for worse. One thing I want to address before I get into this game is the sheer fact that recording this game was a serious pain. Despite the fact that the game will play in full screen, standard recording software won't record the game correctly. I had to get new software and change the dimensions to 6040 by 480 just so I can get footage for this stupid game. But let's move on from that. Let's get into Transformers Battle Universe. Surprisingly, this is the only multiverse Transformers game that's not a pointless DLC game or whatever. I mean, I know technically there was that one game, Transformers Rise of Darkspark, and that one smartphone game that I never played, so I don't really know about. From what I understand, though, neither of them are really a crossover games except for the smartphone game, but yeah, it is what it is, so I'm not going to count it. And so we got another Transformers fighting game because that's all Hasbro can come up with, apparently. Because, you know, that worked so well back on the PlayStation and N64 with the Beast Wars, didn't it? Don't worry, I'll be talking about that game too, unfortunately. Look, all I'm saying is outside something like Mugen or some other crossover game, a fighting game isn't really the best type of game for Transformers license, you know? So, what's the plot? Well, according to the opening of the game that you saw, apparently the Autobot Matrix of Leadership is looking for a new host because, I don't know. I don't think they could adequately come up with an actual plot, so they came up with this. Not even going to attempt to explain to how all these completely different series that don't share the same continuity, save for Beast Wars G1, which has huge issues on its own, and all game modes, there's not really any kind of resolution for any of the characters, no matter what happens. It doesn't seem like any of them get the Matrix or anything, so yeah, it's kind of hard to say there actually is a story mode when there's not really a story structure it follows in any way, shape, or form. Okay, enough of that. So let's actually get into the roster of characters we have. So we have the movie versions of Bumblebee, Optimus Prime, and Megatron. G1 versions of Starscream, Optimus Prime, and Megatron. Beast Wars version of Megatron, or rather Dino Megatron, and Optimus Primal. And then we have the new series Transformers animated versions of Megatron and Optimus. Am I the only one who thinks it's interesting that they use the Transformers Cybertron version of the theme song and yet none of them, the characters, are even from the Unicron trilogy? Or was that their way of including those series without actually putting them in the game? Alright, enough of that. Let's actually get into the gameplay.
Round 1, ready, fight.
And that's pretty much it. Well, you see, you have this basic 3-hit combo, which is the same for everyone, a special attack as well as a number of range attacks, an alternate mode attack, which knocks the opponent away, a flying knee, and a ground pound. And that's about as good as it gets. No combos or anything. You know, I was actually going to say I was disappointed with the character selection, but I can't because all the characters fight the same way. The only thing that's different is a special attack, which is either a shooting special attack or a melee special attack. Not to mention, none of them have a character sound effects or anything different with us or any kind of dialogue. So outside the actual models and their alternate modes, there's nothing different about any of the characters otherwise. There are different game modes, but they're all boring. First we got Burst Mode, which is just a basic fighting one-on-one thing. Playing as all the characters a number of times will unlock all the other characters, by the way. Adventure Mode is basically a mode you can fight a number of times for the Matrix while collecting tokens as well as power-ups and other elements for the game. There's another element to this mode though, as you can actually choose to fight in your alternate modes. But it's pointless because you can't actually hit anyone in vehicle mode, and if you're in Beast Wars Megatron or Primal, you can't do anything at all, not even a melee attack. So if you're an Autobot or Decepticon, you will have an incredible edge against Maximals and Predacons. So basically this mode is pointless. Not to mention you can only do this when you're at the end of one of the fights or just begun, so again, it's kind of pointless. Survival, you already know what that is. Same with training. The environments are pretty bland but have potential. It's a shame that this game is the way it is because the large environments are pretty cool for a proper fighting game. And considering how all the characters have vehicle modes and all that, these could have been pretty impressive fighting arenas if done right. Irritatingly, these environments, while being so large and could have been pretty cool, they can be deceiving as well. Enjoy all the invisible walls where you can go through, where you can't go through, or shoot through. These factors are the only thing while doing adventure mode, and all this doesn't change the fact that the game shouldn't be like this. And yeah, let's enjoy the 3D in-game models while staring at a 360-degree static pixelated image. That's seriously every stage. Well, the Space Bridge stage is okay, but a horrid environment makes the stage annoying. Everything, never being able to hit your opponent at all. And that's it. No, really, we're done. There's nothing else to see. I've shown everything there is to see, and even here, since there's nothing really to hear. No matter what kind of Transformers fan you are, I promise you it's probably best you let this one slip under your radar, unless you happen to come across the key and the controller for next to nothing, and then maybe it'll be worth it. Actually, no, it's not. It's a disgrace, and you probably should have remained lost. I don't believe that either, actually. Just don't put too much time, energy, money into trying to check this game out, okay?